The lady doesn't want to get sandy even though she's at the beach. So I just got home from a trip to Florida where I visited a family friend. This one encounter on the beach still leaves me a little speechless. My family and I were getting ready to pack up our stuff to head back to our hotel. I was shaking out the towels, something you do on the beach, when a lady walked right into me while I was shaking out another towel. She gave me a very sarcastic "thanks for the sand," even though she walked right into me. I said right back that she was on a beach. My mum was even saying the same thing. The lady tried to get up in my face, but she was pulled away by a girl that I assumed was her daughter. Honestly, if you're going to complain about sand, don't walk on the beach or between the ocean and everyone's stuff. Walk behind people and their stuff. It's common sense. Entitled parent. Tutor my kid, and if she doesn't get an A, it's entirely your fault. My stepmum used to be a teacher. She taught high school English. She also tutored many of her students after school. Most of their parents were very respectful of her and appreciated her efforts. However, a surprising number of them expected her to perform some kind of magic and turn their brat C's and D's into A's without any extra effort on the kid's part. I remember one Karen in particular who practically yelled at my stepmum, telling her she was a very lousy teacher and must have her kid has to work harder. What was the point of her tutoring him? Anytime my stepmum tried to reason with her, she'd repeat, "But you're the teacher, it's your job to make him better," like a goddamn broken record. Finally, my stepmum had had enough and told Karen to get out and that she won't be tutoring her kid anymore. If I remember correctly, the kid ended up flunking English. Entitled mother refuses to pay me for babysitting because I changed my niece's diaper. Recently I, 16 male, was babysitting my 2-year-old niece. Right before her parents left, they told me that I was not allowed to change her diaper and that if she had an accident to wait until their date was over. The drive to the place was 3 hours long. Before I could say anything, they left. Almost an hour later, she ended up wetting herself. I didn't want to hear her crying for several hours and didn't want her to get a rash, so I cleaned her up and changed her diaper. When her parents got home and found out that I changed her, they got mad that I disobeyed them. They said that I wasn't allowed to change her because I'm a guy and they don't want me to touch her inappropriately. They told me to leave and that I wouldn't be getting paid. I think I did the right thing, but one thing is I won't be babysitting again. Karen called me fat and lazy because I wouldn't shovel around her car. This is my first Karen encounter and post, so I hope you like. So I live in Canada and we just got hit with a ton of snow and Mum's car was so covered in snow it looked like a snowbank. My mum and I went out to shovel. I shovelled our walkway and patio and my mum shovelled mostly around our car. After I finished the patio and walkway, I went out to help her. We got a lot done on the one side only and my mum went in for a glass of water, so I decided to keep going. After a bit more shovelling, I decided to clean up a little pile of snow that gonched up behind a senior's car. Enter Karen. "Can you shovel around my car? I will give you $3. "Sorry, but I'm pretty tired and I still have the other side of my mum's car to do. I don't think I will have the energy to do your car. I still need to finish mine." "Why not? It's money." "Sorry, I can't." "But you were doing their car, why can't you do mine?" "You lazy pig." "I'm doing theirs because I got some of my leftovers behind theirs and I'm cleaning it up. And now I'm not doing yours because of what you just called me." "Do my car right now, young man." "Hasn't your mum ever taught you manners?" "Yes, she has. You're just being really rude. Go do your own car." "Fine, you're fat anyway, you teenage scum." Luckily my mum comes back in time to see some of this and yells at the Karen and tells her off. Good riddance. After that we finish the car and as we head in, the Karen gives me a dirty look while starting to shovel her car. Lol, calm as a bitch. Entitled cousin tries to break open my door. So this one's going to be super quick. After the whole ordeal with my mum, my dad and I decided to move closer to his family. It hasn't been super long in the new house, but it's great. Now, a few days after we got settled in, my entitled uncle and his son called my dad because they didn't have a place to stay since they had lost their house. They've been living with us for about 3 days now, and every single day has been a living nightmare. But this morning was the worst of it. I was in my room doing my laundry, listening to music when I heard a knock on my door. It was my cousin asking if he could play on my Switch. He's 10. I told him no since it was dead and it's on the charger. He says okay and walks off. I close the door behind him and decide to lock it because I know how he is. About 5 minutes later, he tries to open my door and when it doesn't budge, he begins punching it. He hit it pretty hard, quite a few times, and put a hole in it. Both my dad and EU came downstairs and asked what happened. Lucky for me, I didn't have to say a single thing because EC actually told the truth. He usually doesn't. My dad was livid. He told both of them that they need to go find somewhere else to live, and since about 2 PM my time, the house has been a lot more quiet, and I'm very thankful. My dad told me he's going to try to get them to pay for the broken door, but since they're living with friends and bouncing from house to house, I don't think they will. which to me isn't a big deal, but it's the point that EC did damage to my door. Mum didn't listen to the carbon monoxide alarm. Hi, currently it's 3 AM and at the moment I was sitting in the back of my mum's car because the monoxide alarm went off a whole 3 times before she got my family out. I was basically begging her to get us out and she scolded me because apparently her intelligence was insulted because I told her we shouldn't be fucking ignoring it. What does she do? Scold me and tell me to go back to bed. 15 minutes later the alarm goes off again. Of course it fucking does. By the time I'm getting dressed and telling my brother to get out of the house, she finally decides to tell us to leave. As if we weren't going to fucking do that. Keep in mind that I, 14 years old, had to get my brother ready to leave because she thought opening the windows would keep us safe. She's been neglectful before, but this is her new fucking low. I'm already nauseous and in pain, and when I tell her this, she gets angry again at me because apparently I sounded too aggressive. Sorry for venting about it here. I'm sick of her acting like this. It's disgusting. She could have gotten my brother and the rest of us killed. Entitled mum won't let me go to the doctor. My mother was a very paranoid person, but never before has she gone to such an extent as to let me suffer because of a kid's recent death. So I'm basically feeling terrible right now. I'm definitely sick with some kind of disease. My symptoms include nausea, headache, stomachache, a sore throat and a few more insignificant ones. I want to make this as short as possible, so I won't be listing off all the specifics. I asked my mum if she could take me to the doctor. She refused, and when I asked why, she showed me a local newspaper. The headline said something by the lines of a kid overdosing on medication. I read a little more, and apparently a kid was unsupervised and ate too much meds, resulting in his death. We argued a bit until I suddenly started coughing violently. I went to bed after that, completely ignoring whatever she said. 5 minutes later, she came to my room and apologises. I thought that I was finally going to see the doctor, but no. She then proceeded to bring in a tray with raspberry tea in one cup and warm milk with honey and ginger in the other, as if that would have helped. She forced me to drink both liquids, and about 10 minutes later, I ran to the toilet and vomited those 2 out. Obviously, because I'm currently in pain, and I texted my father about the situation and asked if he could take me to the doctor. I'm still waiting for a reply, but hopefully he will soon. It sounds crazy, I know, but she has done lesser, but still crazy things before, and sometimes I wonder if she just wants to kill me. If any of you have any valid arguments or just some good insults, please tell me for my sake. Entitled teacher at school. My science teacher from a while back has always been on my blacklist since the first day of school. She always warms up to the girls, blames everything on the boys, and gives these huge projects and expects us to do them in 5 days. One particular story is when she's ranting about how the boys are loud and noisy and rowdy, while the girls are talking, and instead of a single file line, they formed a bunch of grapes. Teacher takes no notice of this, then tells the dean to keep an eye on the boys. Now a little bit about the dean. She is badass, absolute badass. She is the no-nonsense trouble stopper, lunchroom silencer, badass of a human being. So, listening to the teacher, she keeps an eye on the boys. Guess what? The boys are quiet and orderly, while some girls have their phones out and are talking quite loudly. The dean coolly walks over and dismisses everyone but the girls to get their lunches. The girls ask why, and the dean says out loud in front of 300 students, "Well, teacher always says that her girls are good, but right now they're being worse than name of notorious troublemaker at school. So girls, I suggest you shut your mouths and be quiet like the boys." The lunchroom lost their shit. We ended up being on, no talking for the rest of the lunch period. But it felt so damn good to see the teacher's look on her face when she found out that her precious girls were being bad. Hey, thanks for watching to the end. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead. I always see them. I always enjoy engaging with them. You can subscribe if you want, if you choose to. No, there's no pressure to. Or you can click one of the other videos on the screen now. Or you may even have a favourite subreddit that you'd like covered.